Hey everybody, welcome to the Cardboard Cave. We're here to do a unboxing for a Nintendo Switch game. This game's not even brand new. I'm not even sure exactly when it came out, but I thought it seemed like a pretty darn good value, and I was kind of passing it by. You know, it's late in the Switch's life. I'm ready for the Switch too. I've slowed down on buying Switch games, but this is the kind of thing I like, and I thought, man, that's a good deal for what it comes with. At least it looks like it is. So I'll tell you all about it. Well, there's no surprise where you can find it. You can find it other places as well. But a little disappointed in Amazon for shipping a collector's video game in a bubble mailer. Well, not even a bubble mailer, whatever these things are called. But I'm not surprised. It is Amazon. It should have been shipped in a box, obviously. Anybody besides Amazon probably would have shipped it in a box. But here we go. Doesn't look too beat up. This is Ys Memoire, the Oath. Oh my gosh, I should have looked at how to pronounce this. Ys Memoire, the Oath of Felghana. You could spell it there in case I'm saying it wrong. Refined edition, which they call it Refined edition. If you look it up on Amazon, it says Day 1 edition. That's the only edition I've seen on Amazon. It retails for $50, and it's currently $40, at least at the time of recording this video. It's $40 for a physical Switch game with a bunch of extra stuff. Like, that's pretty cheap by today's standards. And it's made by Falcom and Xseed Games. Falcom is just a classic game developer that's known for this series and known for action RPGs, which is when it comes to RPGs, has really become my bread and butter. Is way back. I don't even think I did a YouTube video. I think it was on the Retro Bliss Patreon page back when we did that podcast. I did a review for Illusion of Gaia, which is an action RPG. It just had a wonderful time. And I was like, man, this is, for who I am now, I don't have the time or the patience I used to, frankly, for video games. I like a lot of more straightforward, old school platformers, action games, quirky games. An action RPG is more my speed. What does that mean? It means you see all the enemies. There's not random battles. Let me take the plastic wrap off here while I talk. And you fight yourself. You press the buttons and fight. It's not turn-based. But in just about every other way, there's leveling up. There's exploration, opening chest. I think maybe some light puzzle elements. It's an RPG in every other way. It's just the battle system is action. And I'll be honest, I've dabbled in the Ys series before, but it's pretty much passing me by. And I've always thought, I need to check out one of these Ys games. And I don't think I ever really have. I know on Switch, there's also Ys Origins, which I heavily considered. But a lot of people consider this just the most fun one. At least on Switch, if not of the whole series. I believe that it started out, was it like 2003 or 2005? So it's not like quite a retro game, but it is like 20 years old at this point, as a Windows game. And then it got a PSP version. I think I'm right about that, but don't quote me. I might be thinking of Ys Origins. I know it was on PSP at some point. So like, 2005, whenever the PSP was big. And then it got a remake, and that's what we have here. So yeah, so here's the sides of the box. Again, $40 on Amazon. This kind of thing, and it was only $50 normal price retail. Of course, I did get some box damage because it's Amazon and they suck. I mean, maybe that's not fair. I got this for a great price. It was shipped free to my door in 2 or 3 days. That's very nice. The fact they don't ship what I think to just about anybody would be considered like a collectible type thing. The fact they don't even ship it in a box is just wild to me, but whatever. I got this to play, and hey, like I said, $40 is less than I would expect to pay for just the game itself. So here we see it's a newly remastered classic action RPG, one of the greatest chapters in the Ys history. Now with new features and upgraded HD audio and visuals, brand new character art, switch between classic and refined illustrations at any time. So that's cool. Choose between the different versions of the soundtrack, all in HD quality. And I've heard the soundtrack of this is truly phenomenal. even people who maybe this isn't their favorite Ys game, a lot of them say it's definitely one of the best soundtracks. The long-awaited voice acting for the main character. Oh, so I guess the main character didn't have voice acting in the original, but now he does. Experiment with turbo mode on or difficulty adjustments like no fail mode. Or sorry, no fall mode. Okay, no fall mode. All right, rated T for teen. Blood, fantasy violence, mild language, and suggestive themes. But look at all this. Again, $40. Includes the physical game, an acrylic diorama set. I mean, I have seen, well, for example, Godzilla. As you know, if you are on this channel, I went through a Godzilla kick, and there's like acrylic Godzilla, just like logos that are like $30 for just that. And it includes a CD soundtrack, a 4 postcard set, and a microfiber cloth. To be honest with you, here's the thing. I will play the soundtrack 100%. If the music's as good as I've heard, I will play the soundtrack. The rest of this, at this point in my life, I got so much stuff. I've tried to avoid clutter. I probably won't do anything with all that. But again, I'm okay with it because I'm getting the full game and a soundtrack. And then all this is just a bonus for $40. Like, yeah, so I thought the value was exceptional. If you're a gamer, you know you don't get this kind of game usually cheap. And for a North American release, like I didn't even have to go to Play Asia to get it. Like it's a kind of a treat. And Ys Origins is also available for around $40. It is just the cartridge and case. You don't get all the other stuff. But if that one sounds good to you, it is also available for around the same price. So here we go. So yeah, just this for $40 would be totally fair. It's supposed to be a fantastic action RPG, one of the best in the series. So yeah, just this for $40 is perfectly fine. All the other stuff is like over the top. Like clearly they had a love for the series and wanted to do something nice, because it's just not, it's not necessary to give all the other stuff, really. I think most of that is what you've already seen on the back of the box. But, I mean, graphically, you have to just look up videos yourself. But it looks like a nicer, to me, a nicer Sega Saturn RPG. When I say nicer, I mean there's obviously some things that are more modern effects. But, or a PS1. A PS1 or Sega Saturn, like pseudo 3D. The visuals are 3D, but it's more like from an isometric view, sort of. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's from an above view. It's not like a Final Fantasy viewpoint. It definitely has a retro feel to it, even though the game itself, I think, like I said, originally was somewhere around 2005. So it's, you know, not super old, but also sort of retro. But anyways, there we go. And let's go and open the game up. Why not? Just do it one at a time. I got this to play. I didn't get it to stay in the box, which is why I'm not too thrown off by Amazon's lousy packaging. But just note that if you buy from Amazon, you should expect that. That's a pretty cover. I'm not really an anime guy anymore. I went through, I don't want to call it a phase. Like my entire teenage years and into my young adult years, I was heavy into anime. Now I had certain kinds I liked. I was never into the like super cutesy stuff. I don't know how else to put it. But I loved, there was a lot of series I loved. Look at this. I mean, this, it's got a manual or an adventure guide. It's basically a manual, I assume. And the cartridge there. This for $39.99, again, that's the current price on Amazon, is a more than fair price. Even if you don't care about any of this, and I don't too much, except for the soundtrack. That's super cool. Because I do still have a CD player. Just like a personal, like, I don't know, it's an off-brand Walkman basically, but it attaches, it connects to the radio. Going on tangent here, but this might interest some of you, because if you're watching this, you're probably into some old school stuff. Most vehicles don't have CD players now, but they do have CD players. Mine was not an expensive one. It was pretty cheap, but you just turn to a certain radio station, and then you hit the button on the CD player, and it plays through your speakers. So you don't need cords or anything. Anyways, let's take this out. I was going to say this is reversible, but it's not super reversible, because then that means this would be on the back. I mean, the original is awesome too, but I definitely love this alternate art. I think I like it more. So you could totally do that. I mean, you got the name on the spine here. That just means that you're going to have this on the back. So that's not great. But otherwise, you can totally switch to that side. But they're both really good. So we'll put that to the side. Here's the adventure guide. There's a prologue story, all the characters, tips. Ooh, there's a world map. That's super cool. And then, like descriptions of different locations. I do feel like from videos I've seen, you spend the great majority of this game inside, like in towers, castles, dungeon type stuff. Like I don't honestly know that it has. I don't know. I'm speaking out of the side of my mouth. I really don't know, but I've not seen a lot of gameplay that makes me think there's much like exploration in an overworld. I think you're pretty much doing the dungeons or whatever they call them in this game. But don't quote me on that. Anyways, that's what you got there. That's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that most $60, $70 AAA games don't come with any kind of paperwork now. I mean, that's why we love collecting for Switch, those of us who do. And that's why we hope it doesn't totally stop on Switch 2 for these sort of smaller third-party releases. Wow. Oh, that's the soundtrack. All music by Falcom Sound Team, JDK. Let's go and break into that. It's kind of hard to break into. There we go. And again, this isn't a special pre-order edition. This isn't any kind of a special edition. I mean, they call it Day One, what did I say? Refined edition. But it's the edition available, and it's cost the normal price. $49.99 retail, on sale for $39.99. I mean, it's, again, I've not even seen another edition, so that, I don't know, I think it's special they included all this. I don't know why or how they did it for the price they did, but I think it was a labor of love. Like, I think it's one of those, I think this is one of those cases that if you care about the game, you're getting more than you pay for here, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. Because that just doesn't happen anymore. I really feel like you're getting more than you pay for here. I mean, this is a soundtrack, a bunch of extra stuff we're about to get into, a full game with manual, a lovingly crafted, and now granted it's a remake of an older game, but still, 100% they could have charged $40 for that. And I think just about everybody who buys this would have still bought it. So this is in a lot of ways, I feel like it's a gift. Again, for 2025, for it to be that price. I don't really see. It's pretty. I don't really see what tracks it has. Oh, there we go. So there's 14 tracks. I have no idea. But this is an RPG. These look like they're all actual tracks. Like it's not, I don't see chest opening music, you know, or something like that. I think these are all songs, actual songs. So I think this is a full-length CD. If I had to guess, it's probably, I don't know, at least 45 minutes or so. If I had my little CD player down here, I'd check for you. I don't. Oh, so this is not just from this game. So this is a celebration, 2010 to 2020. Okay, so this is like 10 years of music, of Falcom music. So it's not just from this game, I'm thinking. Let's see. No, so far those are all this game, yep. There's, okay. The first 9 all mention this game specifically, but after that, it looks like it's not just from this game. So, looks like you got a mix of probably some of the best music from this game. It all says 2010, so maybe this game originally came out in 2010. I might have been off. Then after that, though, starting with track 10, you got a variety of songs that don't specifically mention this game. Anyways, it looks like a pretty full CD there. This is not just like some sampler CD, I don't think. All right. Looks like the cloth is next. And I've seen other people's that they're all folded this way, so it's just going to be a little wrinkly at first. Oh, let's see. You know what? I don't need to bring this out. It's a thin, it's like a microfiber cloth. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it to, I guess, sit stuff on. I'm a 40-year-old man. This is adorable. But, I'm not going to do anything with this. But there it is. It does fold weird. I'm sure you could probably get it pretty flat eventually. But that's just how it comes folded. Okay, then we got postcards. I'm going to open these for you. Why not? Like I said, to me, this stuff was all basically free. And don't let me kill your buzz if you're into all this stuff. Because let me tell you, and I don't know if it has anything to do with age, but when I was a younger man, you know, like a young adult, I don't know, less jaded by time or whatever, I would have been all over this. Like Lunar, I've probably talked about that on this channel. Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation 1 was one of my favorite game experiences. And I loved all the extra stuff it came with. The character art and the cloth map and the CDs. So I would have been all over this years ago. Now I just think maybe it's not for me specifically. Because here's the thing. The game really doesn't look like this. This is very like peak anime. But the game is like a classic action RPG. And it doesn't... but that's how it's always been. You know, the art they've done. Now I like that. I like that a lot. That is... no, it's not quite the same. I was going to say that's similar, but it's not quite the same as that. I like that one a lot. I mean, these two... this one's a little fan servicey. And that one. But that one's alright. And this one's actually really cool. So, there you go. 4 postcards. But yeah, what I was trying to say is if you're just a fan of like old school action RPGs, that's totally what this is. Like I'm not as excited about the more modern Ys games, like the super modern 3D ones, because they're very anime. They have that look. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's not that I'm strictly opposed to it, but that super cute, the cat girl, the super pretty guys, like all that look is just not for me anymore. As an old, fat, grumpy 40-year-old man, it's just not for me. But I love the art, the 2D art and everything. And if you look at the actual game itself, that's what this is. I mean, again, just look up videos. But, I mean, there are cutscenes. I don't think there's very many, but that's the only time you're going to see, like, you know, traditional anime art, and I'm more than fine with that. Again, I love the Lunar Silver Star Story games, including the opening, which was pure anime. I'm okay with a little bit of it. I just don't want the whole game to be like anime overload, and it's not. It's more like I said, a Saturn or a PlayStation 1 RPG, just, you know, a little nicer looking. And then we got the acrylic stuff. So I think there's a keychain plus the acrylic stand. So there's just the chain for the keychain. What do we got here? Wow, that looks like... oh, my frame broke. I don't think it matters. I don't think that piece is supposed to be loose. Let's see. Again, this kind of thing is a really nice bonus. If you like these kinds of things, these usually don't come super cheap. So here's the stand. And I think it actually has plastic over it you can peel off to make it look nicer. This is just the plastic. Heck, I'll go and do it. I'll put it together. Again, I didn't buy this to sell. I bought it because I want the game. Oh yeah, see, that looks nicer. It's a really nice stand there. And then, oh, I see. They can each be a keychain. You only get one chain, but they each have holes so they can be a keychain. So that's what that's all about. Let me go and take off this plastic. It's kind of making it look worse. Well, I didn't quite get it off. All right, let's just take one out. There we go. So there's one. So this could be its own. These are nice. This is very nice quality. Again, a $40, $50 at full retail game with the soundtrack, with the postcards, with the microfiber mat, and comes with this acrylic stuff. It's hard to argue with that. And then, I don't know where the keychain went. There it is. So, yeah. You can use a keychain on any of them. Be sure to pull that plastic off, though, because they don't look nearly as good until you do. There we go. I don't know any of the characters' names. It looks like we have a knight, who I believe is the main character. And then I'm going to guess a childhood friend slash maybe love interest. That's usually how it works. And then it looks like we got maybe he's with the Navy or something. Looks like maybe with the Royal Army. I don't know. Almost looked clerical at first, but I don't think so. Maybe he's with the church. Maybe that's what it is. But very nice art. Then that still leaves the actual background here. Well, maybe. There we go. Really do love that logo. It's very pretty. So, let's see. I'm guessing it goes like that. I think it has to go like that. Then, I guess you could put these in any order, but I'll do it the way it does. So over here, oh no, they have different base sizes, so they can't go in just any order. All right, there we go. Really cool, actually. I mean, as far as these things go, this is about as nice as one of I've seen with the game. I don't know if it cracked some when I put those in, or if it's just whatever this backing is on the bottom. I'm not sure, though. I don't think that's meant to come off. No, maybe it is meant to come off. I can't tell. Anyways, they fit in there firmly. They're not going anywhere. It's pretty nice, I have to say. Like I said, you can individually take them off and use them as keychains. You know, they're going to get scratched up if you do that, but it's an option. So there we go. That's it. A pretty darn sturdy box to hold it all in, too. A lot of stuff, for sure. I'm going to put this back in here. A whole lot of stuff. There's the postcards and the soundtrack. And this back in. Very impressive for the price, just to be honest. I mean, yeah, when you got, not to call anybody out, but when you got companies like Limited Run who would absolutely consider this the Deluxe Edition, and it would absolutely be, oh, let's see, let's do a little math here. They would count $40 for the game, which is what I paid for everything here. They would count probably $5 for the postcards, so that's $45. They would count about $15 for the soundtrack, so that's $60. At least $5, so that's $65. And probably at least $15. This would be at least an $80. At least an $80 box. And it's $50 retail, $40 is what I paid and what you can probably still get it for. So yeah, you're getting a lot here. Again, I paid what I would have paid for just the game itself. And I really love having the soundtrack too, because I've heard it's absolutely fantastic. And all this other stuff is just totally bonus. Anyway, this has been the Cardboard Cave. I've not played the game yet, but again, it's an action RPG. It's supposed to be one of the best. Just a lot of fun. Just fun is the word I kept hearing to describe this game. Just action-packed, fun combat, just fun experience all around. And that's what I was looking for. And getting all this other stuff as a bonus is just pretty neat. Thanks for checking out the Cardboard Cave. If you don't mind liking this video, and comment below what other Ys games should I check out, especially ones that are available on Switch. But just in general, let me know. I appreciate you. We'll catch you next time.